these other countries, like you said, Europe has gotten away from that over 20 years ago. So you think we need to, and shameless plug for me, but you think we need to do a cleanse or what? Do you think we absolutely need supplements today? Because one of the things I wrote on one of my blogs is, if you think eating healthy makes you healthy, think again.
Yeah, this show is absolute proof that no matter what you do, you're going to be loaded with toxins and poisons and waste and all other kinds of horrible things that Dr. Chopra has been speaking about.
You can be thin, you can look great, but what's going on the inside? And you might not know, because it could be an insidious effect or action, right? So coming up next, Dr. Chopra, I want you to give us closing thoughts. I would love for you to give us bullet point thoughts, stats, about more information, if you possibly can. I know you can. What we can do, not why, but what we can do today, moving forward, since we've heard about all this negative stuff. We know that we can get your book and read about it in detail, called Corrupt to the Core. Get it on Amazon.com. Dr. Chopra, I want you to think about some of the things that we can do today, individually. What's the take-home message today that someone can do to make themselves healthier today than they were yesterday? What is that? Think about it and talk with us next. 745 Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. George D. John and Dr. Webster on the Train Station Fitness Show today. We can slow things down a little bit. We got some stuff. Dr. Chopra has been on the show. He's got a book called Corrupt to the Core. Some of the things that are addressed in his book, he said food imported from third world countries is safer than food produced here. Multinational corporations are at the helm of the government corruption. Well, that's kind of a sticky topic right there. There's no such thing as a safe and effective vaccine. I don't understand that. Maybe that's another show. The source of mad cow disease was completely avoidable. And he said the anthrax and swine flu scares were hoaxes. Well, I don't know about the anthrax, but I can certainly see that about swine flu. The one thing I like about this author, this scientist, is just that, is that he's a scientist. He works off of knowledge, off of facts. It's not his opinion. If this was an opinion-based book, I don't think you'd be on the show. Dr. Chopra, I want to talk about the take-home message today, and I also want to talk about farmers that are using their organic ways of growing produce. Dr. Webster, first chime in about your thoughts.
Yeah, Doc, I was wondering if there's a way that I and George and the audience, is there a way that we can look at our food and look at the labels and tell if it has been genetically modified or not? I know the GMOs are one of your 5 pillars that you talk about. Can you elaborate on that? Is there a way that we can tell?
None of these 5 items are listed on the label, or in fact even in the government books, which are supposed to have been done under the regulations. That's one. So those must be banned. That's one. As what you can do as an individual, first of all, drink water, no pop. Eat no meat or less meat. Certainly not processed meat, no pepperoni, none of that. That's dangerous for your health. Eat butter instead of margarines, right, because they have half as much, butter has half as much trans fat. So cholesterol is out of the window now. So there's a number of things that people can do right now before the whole food system gets cleaned up. Ultimately, to get it cleaned up, to make it organic, to make it natural, we must remove those 5 substances from food production. That is the quickest message that I can give. That's what I've done in my life. That's what my family does. We don't now. My wife and I have become vegetarians. But I'm not saying people have to be vegetarian. But don't eat as much meat. It will help the climate.
Well, hold on. Before you go any further with all that stuff, because we don't have time for all the green stuff, and I agree with you on green, but let's keep it focused on this show. As far as meat is concerned, why not having a meat-type protein being fish that's not farm-raised? Why not having a grass-fed beef or a chicken that's not been fed hormones and it's a free-range type chicken? Why is that so? Is that so terrible for us?
No, it isn't. In fact, that's precisely what I'm saying, because the way we are eating meat now is coming processed meat. Every meal is becoming meat. You go to a restaurant, you have 5 dishes of meat. It doesn't have to be. It has to be balanced. So
It seems there's two ways to go organic. Number one, go to your trusted grocery store that's supposedly the healthy grocery store. I know of one of them, I'm not going to promote them, that says they have their own policing agents that go out to the farms they buy their food from and make sure it's organic. I like that. And I tend to think that if the other healthy grocery stores want to keep up with the Joneses, or this one being the Jones, that they would do the same thing, but I don't know. You'd have to ask about it. That's one way. The other way to get around all of this, if you know how to till your own land, if you have any land, or even an area that's a garden, instead of making all these nice shrubs and trees, why not make it a garden where you grow your own produce, so therefore you know what's in it?
Your balconies.
Yeah, you can do it on a balcony also. You know what's in it. So there are ways around this. Is it more time consuming? Yes. Is it better for your health? Yes. So this is where you empower the consumer to take their health into their own hands. There's a comment you made to me off the air. It's not that I didn't want you to talk about it. It just wasn't a take-home message for today like I just gave out. Give people the advice that you wanted to give them about what they can do and by making an impact for all of us today. What is that?
Well, I'm saying if you know what's good for you, eat that. Go search for it.
No, the
Do it
government.
yourself.
The government comment.
Well, the government must be forced now to ban these 5 substances. We own the country. It's our country. The government doesn't make laws. Government makes laws on behalf of the public. And so they don't need to be in the business of government if they don't serve the public.
All right, Dr. Chopra, thank you for being on the show. Your book is Corrupt to the Core. You can get it on Amazon. You can also go to Dr. Chopra's website. It's shivchopra.com, SHIV Chopra.com, and you can read all of this information we talked about today. Dr. Chopra will probably have you on another show in the future, so thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Well, George, this show just demonstrates exactly how toxic our environment is. Not only is the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, because of the show Dr. Lano you had on.
Well, he wasn't a doctor. It's just Lano. He's a specialist who's been traveled the world and consulted with large firms about, or not large recycling plants about their water.
The water is horrible. And now even the food. I mean, unless you're getting a very trusted source, an organic source grown without all of these things, the antibiotics, the hormones, the genetically modified organisms, the pesticides, we are being bombarded with toxins at every single level. It just shows us how important it is to choose the foods wisely, and also to make sure that even if we get exposed to some of these things, we do what we're supposed to do. We help our body, we aid our body in the detoxification process.
You know, there are so many people, certain people in the healthcare industry that just irk the hell out of me because they say, hold on, Dr. Webster, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Our body has its own ability to cleanse itself. They're right, 5,000 years ago.
Yeah,
not when we started using all these chemicals.
It's based on the amount of toxins we had 5,000 years ago.
Yeah,
we have hundreds of times as many toxins exposed to our body these days. So we have to give our body some assistance.
The part where I feel kind of like the consumer or the listener today is I feel when I listen to a show like this or do a show like this, I feel as though I want to live in a bubble.
I know.
You know, and it's not a good feeling because it makes you just want to throw your hands up in the air and say, well, just screw it. You know, this is not what I signed up for. I want to be able to live and have fun. That is fine. And I don't know how many times I've said 85% of my diet is perfect, 15% of it is out the window. I eat pizza and brownies. I love all that stuff. But it's, you know, you've got to continually cleanse your body at the same time. However you want to do it, whatever you think is the best way, go about it. It's not for me, not about my site. Just do it. All right, T-Box in the studio. Hi, bye.
Hi, bye.
Bye, see you, take care.
How are you?
Okay.
Yeah?
No. I like to, Craig's not here. Hi.
Hey. Joel Edwards, George.
Joel,
Dr.
nice
Webster.
to meet you. Dr. Webster and George.
Craig's out doing a member guest with his dad out in Maryland.
He's doing nothing.
So
He's got
that's
nothing.
fun. Yeah, you know what? I was listening to, in fact, Joel and I are both listening to the show coming in. I'm of the opinion that the less you know, the better off you are.
No kidding. That's why I said I want to live in a bubble.
No, I don't want to live in a bubble. I just don't want to know.
I'm saying if you know,
Yeah,
it may make you feel that way.
Yeah, I think knowledge is not good. Because I think anybody can instill fear, danger, or whatever the heck is going on. I think if you just do normal stuff, I think it'd be okay.